Hello, guys. Welcome back. Thank you so much for returning. This is another day of Vlogmas, December 11th, 2022. Now, I do apologize. I was MIA yesterday and the day before. I mean, it is Christmas time and, kids and family and so much stuff going on. So I do apologize. So I'm going to do today commentary as Vlogmas because my Vlogmas could be about anything. Doesn't necessarily have to be about Love and Marriage Huntsville. So guys, bear with me. I mean, if you want to listen, listen. If you don't, no problem. You don't have to because it may be a topic or a scenario or just some people or information that you're currently not really into or interested in, which is fine. But I kind of wanted to make Vlogmas about other stuff. So, but yeah, today I am going to do Vlogmas, but the commentary is Love and Marriage Huntsville from yesterday's episode, and then also really quickly last week episode, which was kind of boring a little bit. However, I did appreciate the scene between the Scott brothers. It was heartfelt. It was real, a real moment, where they were showing literally the closeness that they have as brothers. I felt like the little scene or the part where Marsau was constantly burying his head in the table. I thought that was funny because he was actually doing like how a little boy does when they don't want to cry or when they're upset or mad and they don't want their mom or somebody to see them upset or crying. They kind of try to bury their face. So that was cute. But Maurice, hopefully this experience has like taught him something. Like he can do some retrospection with himself, like how he's handling his wife. You know what I mean? Because it is something to say that he was constantly pressing her to leave nursing and to be an entrepreneur, because for whatever reason why he want everybody to be an entrepreneur, which is great. You're your own boss, this is true, but everybody's not cut out for it, seriously, because it is hard work. You the promoter, the marketer, you the CEO, the financial part, you know what I mean, all these things, and a lot of people are not cut out for it. But eventually she did leave nursing and she's doing real estate full time. She also has this title company, and in that transition she had to leave her benefits behind from the hospital she worked. And when you're an entrepreneur, you gotta get your own insurance, health insurance benefits. So within that little transition, I guess she was out of insurance for a hot minute, didn't get her mammogram or what have you, and honestly, what we know now, which is what she had cancer and everything, that mammogram was vital. Like that might have that no might in it. That was the mammogram she truly needed to see this head on in the very beginning stages and nip it in the bud then, and maybe at this point it wouldn't have been so aggressive. You know what I mean? 20 rounds of chemo, that's a lot. So, and that's something he has to live with. I mean, hopefully he won't beat himself up too bad, too long, because it is water under the bridge now. And if you've seen my community post, she is cancer free now. She did ring that bell. So, once again, congratulations to Kimmie and her family, and God bless her on that. But anyway, moving on to yesterday's episode. Um, it starts off pretty much with, I would say, the most interesting part. It started off with Marsau and Tisha at Black. Let's just jump right into that. I use these pictures of her because those were like the most, and I hate to say dumb, because this woman is not dumb in the book sense. I already went over this, right? She's not book dumb, but she kind of is dumb on a, I don't know, not intellectual, but maybe intellectual. No, I mean, yeah, she is. She really is. She made a very big deal. Now, let me start by saying Marcel was definitely wrong on all levels to invite Mel to Black, to discuss without telling his wife. Like, first of all, this was a day that you guys planned, like you guys said, the little date or date or night date. So that's horning in on her time with you that she's expecting to spend with you. So that was wrong. So if Mel had said, "Oh yeah, well I'm in the area, I can come by," what he should have said was like, "Oh, okay, well it's not good for me today. How about tomorrow?" Or they can map out what time would be good for her to come by. That's one thing. Two, let's fast forward to the dinner at the Scott's house, Kimmie and Maurice's house. All of them were together again. You could have told her that mess there. So I am with Tisha on that. You could have discussed that little mess that you discussed with her right there at that dinner. You know what I mean? You didn't have to specifically get her out to come by or whatever. Marsau is weird. He's strange. I don't want to say he has an affection for Mel, but it does seem that way. And I hate to say that because that's like adding more stuff on to what he's about, which is kind of all negative in a way. And I hate to say that, but it's what he shows us. You know what I mean? It's not like what we're kind of like grasping at straw. It's what he shows us on the show. You know, kind of disrespecting the wife emotionally. He does stuff without letting her know. He takes trips out of the country without telling them. And I guess he made up for it by taking her to Florida and Pensacola and the two other places that they went to, which was good. And obviously, it was him and the kids and her, so that was good. That was like a makeup for it because I think they went like 2, 3 different places or whatever, and then stopped by Mel and Destin. So, but yeah, he's just all around wrong on so many levels all the time, which is so bad. But I agree with Tisha that you could have told her what you told her at that dinner at Maurice and Kimmie's. However, what did he really tell her when she met with him at Black? He didn't really. And put down in the comments because I don't know what he said. It was just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. It wasn't anything concrete. I think he was getting ready to really dive into what the brother was telling him about Mel's mother, Miss Van, and him. And Mel stopped him like, I don't want to know about that. That don't have nothing to do with me. That's between him and her or whatever. I want to talk about the stuff that he's been saying about me because we all know that he has dogged Mel on the internet. And he didn't really have no words. He didn't really have no comeback for that because they didn't really discuss Mel that much. I mean, they might have, but whatever it was, he didn't have much to say. And it was like, well, why am I here then? Because you ain't telling me nothing. So yeah, I don't know. Marceau is weird. It's almost like he wants to like see her, and have her close or have her in front of him. Like he just like I don't know. Like do he like looking at her or something? It's very, very weird. It really, really is because the a hole in him kind of subsides when he's talking to Mel or you know what I mean? Like, do you notice that? Like, when he's so stern, like when him and Tisha at the bar at Black, like he was getting stern and he was like, no, 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 I gotta make my point. I'm making my point. He gets up, he walks away, or whatever. And then when he talks to Mel, it's like, I mean, even though they didn't have that kind of moment at Black in this scene here, but he has talked to Mel before where they've had heated moments and he still kind of is kind of like mild mannered. He kind of turns it into a joke. He does that smile he does where he's looking kind of sneaky and he kind of like is not really saying anything, like almost like he thinks it's cute or maybe he's trying to think of something to say. I don't know. It's really, really weird. And so, yeah. But Tisha was livid that he invited Mel because, again, this was supposed to be their time, their day. And for him to throw in her face, like, are you jealous? You're the jealous wife. That's wrong. Like, oh my God. I don't know how long I would be mad or upset with my husband for saying that to me because that's a bone of contention there. You know what I mean? And even though it's true, and obviously he even sees it, right? He even sees it. So that's why he said that. So for him to actually say that is so wrong. And I don't know. They because that will be a bone of contention for me for a very, very long time. Because it's like, how dare you? How dare you? But yeah, so they were just going back and forth and back and forth, and really no one really made their points, but really neither one of them saw eye to eye. So she just left because she just wasn't feeling it. But the thing is, you again at Black brought up all these things that Mel have said and this and that, and you want to be a part, and you want to be around her, don't want to see her, and it's just like But yet you went to Destin. You went to Destin, was lighthearted, playing games, this and that, because if you felt this way, and she used the excuse that she went is because Martell asked them. But girl, you knew that she was going to be there, and you knew you was going to have to interact with her and see her. So I don't understand your point. This is what makes her kind of nutsy cuckoo, little dingy. Because why didn't you use that same energy at that point? So what? It was Martell that invited you. The fact still remains, you don't like her, you don't get along with her, she tried to destroy your marriage, yada yada yada. The stuff that you've been saying for 4 seasons now, it still remains. So you were able to put it aside to go to Destin, I guess, because you just probably wanted to be nosy and see how they was, what they was doing, where they was at, or whatever. So you just said, forget it. And now that that's over, you're back to that energy. And this is why so many people have so many issues with Tisha because she's so wishy-washy and she's back and forth. Well, she's mad and now she's not. Okay, she forgot about that for now, but now she's back on it. You know what I mean? It's like, no, no. How can you have a real friendship like this? And her husband was calling her out on it, basically saying like, oh, well, you didn't have the same type of thought process and this energy and Destin and at the dinner. So the dinner, you told her that you was going to let bygones be bygones and not going to be friends, but you're going to be cordial, which, I feel like you was cordial in Destin. But now here it is. I want to explain to her what was going on with the brother. Now you back on all the stuff she did and said. It's like, huh? We back there? Again, you ain't got to be friends with her, but it would be like, oh, okay, well, you want to explain. So, in other words, if nothing else, she could have been like, why you got to call her over to just explain to her what Mark was saying? You could have just called on the phone and told her, or, and then now that we saw toward the end of the episode that they all had dinner at Kimmie's, the original six, that little mess you told Mel could have waited to the dinner. Now, I am totally 100% in agreement with her on that. But, yeah, it's just, oh, God. Tisha is just so wishy-washy. That's the best way to describe her. Wishy-washy and sometime like she's on something one day and then another day she not, and then a whole another day she back on something and back on one, and she ain't bringing it up that day, but this day she bringing it up again after she didn't said apologies or said it's gonna be over or bygones is bygones, and then she back on it. It's like, girl, no one can really keep up with how you moving, which is why the only close relationship she probably is going to have is with Kimmie. And that's because Kimmie sweeps stuff under the rug for the sake of her husband. Her husband truly wants them to be a family, close family, and like sisters. And because he's so close to his brother, which is beautiful. However, Tisha is the person that will never really, really ever have any close friends because of how she moves. And that's the honest God truth. And it's interesting to see going forward if they ever get Scott Manor to where it needs to be to actually start building on it. Are Maurice and Kimmie going to actually have property out there? I think Maurice probably still will build a house. He probably gonna wheel Kimmie in because she gets steamrolled by Maurice And you know, it is what it is. She's a lot more stronger than Tisha is, but you know, just to not go back and forth with him with this arm wrestling thing of power, or you know, who's going to get the last word, or you know what I mean, like to prevent all that, she usually just goes with what he says. But I can't see that Marsau and the rest of the Scots, you know, whoever can afford to build on the property, I can't see them having property and Maurice not building on that property. You know, just completely building a house somewhere else or buying a house somewhere else. I can't see that happening. I just can't. And I don't know. Maybe because Kimmie and Tisha is in a better place, maybe um, she's open to building on Scott Manor now. Who knows? We'll see. I guess we'll see later on. Maybe not in this season, but I guess going forward. I don't know how many episodes we got. I haven't researched that. I don't know how many episodes we have left, but maybe we'll see it toward the end of the season. And they'll revisit, go back around to the Scott Manor thing, or maybe we'll see it in the next season if they're picked up. Because you know, guys, their ratings is kind of like up and down. You know what I mean? Like one episode is like low, and then the other episode is substantial and up to par. You know, with a lot of viewership, and then the next episode is back down. So yeah, I mean it's up and down and up and down ever since that whole little blackout thing. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see going forward. Please, guys, tell me what you think about this episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye. And really quick, guys, as you saw in the earlier photos, Kimmie got that picture with Sheree. Remember when they were at the dinner? She said, "I wanted to meet Sheree. We want to meet Sheree." Oh no, they said it in the confessional. I want to meet Sheree, and she met Sheree. So what Kimmie wants, Kimmie gets.